Someone asked if peak Iverson could completely dominate Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You have to understand, Iverson won 4 scoring titles during an era when the league's average points per game was just over 90, and some games ended with teams scoring only in the 70s, a time defined by tough, hard-nosed defense. Back then, there were no soft defenders, no spacing advantages like today. In the paint, you had rim-protecting monsters like Shaq, Duncan, and Ben Wallace, and on the perimeter, defenders could use their hands. And what kind of environment is Shai playing in now? The whole league has sped up, with teams regularly scoring 120 points per game, and even the slightest contact gets you a whistle. If peak Iverson played under today's rules, with this kind of spacing and officiating, he'd easily average 40 points per game. Shai's pace is definitely impressive now, but when it comes to pure speed and finishing talent, Iverson would blow by him like crossing an empty street at dawn. Go watch the footage for yourselves! At his peak, Iverson was only 1.83 meters tall, yet he carried a 76ers team full of blue-collar players all the way to the finals and even managed to get past the peak Shaq-Kobe duo. That was the 2001 Lakers, who went 15-1 in the playoffs. The only game they lost was the one where Iverson put his life on the line to score 48 points. Look at how stacked Alexander's current Thunder team is. Everyone has crazy wingspans and the floor is wide open, but has he ever proven himself in a tough playoff battle? Iverson was the kind of guy who, even with 20 injuries all over his body, would grit his teeth and swallow the pain just to win. If you look at Alexander's style, which relies on rhythm and fakes in one-on-one situations, he'd really struggle against Iverson's elite steals, instincts, and tight defense. On the flip side, Alexander simply can't guard Iverson's first step. You know he's going right, but you just can't keep up. A lot of young fans have no idea how terrifying Iverson was. You praise Alexander for being steady, for having great rhythm, but you're overlooking the scariest stat, playing time. At his peak, Iverson was a monster who averaged 40 minutes per game in a season. He even had a season where he averaged 43.7 minutes, and in the playoffs, he'd play the entire game without taking a break. He was a true Iron Man, someone who flew around above all those muscle-bound guys, crashed to the floor, and still got up to keep fighting. As for Alexander, even playing 35 minutes is considered a heavy workload for him, and he needs to rest on back-to-back games. If the two were matched up and played into the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, Alexander's stamina bar would have been in the red long ago, and his movements would start to break down, while Iverson would just be finishing his warm-up. Even if Alexander could keep up with Iverson in the first 3 quarters thanks to his height, in the fourth quarter Iverson could use his endurance to run him into the ground and blow past him repeatedly. That kind of stamina reserve needed for full-court on-ball defense and unlimited isolation plays is something modern stars like Alexander can't even come close to. Many people think Alexander's height would allow him to lock down Iverson, but that's a huge mistake. Alexander's defense is strong when it comes to intercepting passes and guarding average players, but what he fears most are low-to-the-ground, lightning-fast power guards. Iverson's crossovers were so wide that his knees were almost touching the floor, and his center of gravity was unbelievably low. When a tall guard like Alexander tries to defend Iverson, it's like a big truck trying to chase a Ferrari. He simply can't bend low enough. If he reaches out, it's a foul. If he doesn't, Iverson blows by him in a single step. On the flip side, Alexander's proud rhythm, drives, and post-up moves become very risky when facing a master like Iverson, who is lightning fast with his hands and always looking to gamble for steals. Alexander's dribbling has a relatively high center of gravity, and if he exposes even a bit of the ball, Iverson's quick hands can immediately turn it into a fast break opportunity. Don't even mention exploiting mismatches. When faced with absolute speed and agility, Alexander's slow, leisurely 3-step layup loses the ball before he even gets started.